Hi Stitchy friends, it's Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher, and this is my channel about cross stitching. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a lot to talk about today. I want to talk about Winter Cross Stitch Camp at the end of the video. I always do a little shop talk at the end for our ColoradoCrossStitcher.com shop. And I've got 4 small finishes for you today. 2 are freebies that I designed for you. And I have amended my book of days a little bit to make it more functional for me. So I want to share that with you too and what I'm doing there. So let's jump right in. I have mostly been working on a new design that I've been stitching that I can't wait to publish. And so I did smalls this time, but I also had one big start, and that was LR 1844 by Reflets de Soie. And I started this one for my grandmother, my mom's mom. I made Gilet Leger, also by Reflets de Soie, for my dad's mom. And so this one is going to be for my mom's mom. And it's got a pretty intense flower border all the way around. And so that's what I started on. And so this is my progress. And obviously I didn't do a very good job of centering that. I don't know what I did there. But it's pretty thick, intense stitching. And for some reason, I feel like I'm doing an old-fashioned embroidery piece. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the flowers or I don't really know what it is, but it just feels so elegant. Maybe that's it. It feels really elegant, like maybe an old-time embroidery piece. So I'm really enjoying it. And instead of looking at it like, oh, I'm never going to get through this whole border, it's so much work, I'm just enjoying each section as I go. I'm doing it, you know, I did this section here, full thing, the full piece, and then I moved on to here, and then I did this. So I'm really just picking parts of it to do and finishing it completely so I can enjoy the pattern as it goes. And I think by the time I get to the inside, I think that's going to go quite a bit faster because it's just beautiful florals, and there's an alphabet in there, and then I'll personalize it, of course, for my grandma. When I do samplers for our family members, I put the city they were born in, their date of birth, their name, and my idea is to someday have a whole sampler wall with all of our ancestors on it. So I've done one for Paul's grandma, I've done one for my grandma, I've done one for my other grandfather. So I'm working through, I'll work through everybody. And that just makes it kind of fun, and it will make the wall so much more personal to have names on there that mean a lot to us. So I'm looking forward to working more on that piece for my grandmother. And then I did my Word of the Year pillow, which I do every year. So here are all my Word of the Year pillows so far. So this is my 5th year of doing Word of the Year, and just a couple of thoughts about that, because I know we had this discussion last year, and some of you do Word of the Year, some of you do a different word of the month, some of you have a focus of the month. So there's all different ways to do it. I tried to do Word of the Year previous to this, and I would pick a word, and then I didn't really have a plan for how I was going to work on that word, or really why I was even doing Word of the Year. And then I started doing it with my friend Susan and a few other friends, and that accountability helped, but also just understanding the process behind Word of the Year and figuring out why I really wanted to do it. And for me, and I know it is this way for everybody, but the years go so fast, don't they? They just, you know, they just fly by. Like, I can't believe it's already almost February in 2022, and I still don't know where 2021 went, and 2020 sure as heck went fast. So because the years go so fast, I feel like Word of the Year gives me something to focus on so that I feel like I did something and learned something that year, or I really focused on improving an area in my life, or just gave it attention. So my friend Susan, who she has taught a lot of vision board classes, and she's just such an encourager, and she's wonderful with Word of the Year. She says that you should pick a word that you want to do, something you want to do, something that you want to be, or something that you want to have in the upcoming year. So my past words of the year have been trust. This one is trust. This one was joy. This one was peace. That was my 2020 peace. Last year, my word of the year was renew. And this year, my word of the year is create. And I thought about different words. I thought about learn, because there's some things I want to learn more about. I thought about study, because there are some things that I want to, again, learn more about or study. I thought about simplify. But then I remembered Susan's advice, and her advice is to make it something that you're looking forward to, not a bossy word. And to me, study, learn, simplify, those are all bossy words. And when I think about wanting to work on that for Word of the Year, I don't want to do it, because I feel like it's telling me what I have to do. Create can encounter all of those, or encompass all of those words, so I can create new habits, or I can create new pathways to something, or I can create new spaces. Obviously, the word create to me means a lot of handwork, whether it's stitching or knitting or designing. And create makes me feel inspired. It makes me anxious to get up in the morning and do something about it. Whereas if I had to get up and think about the word study or learn or clean out or simplify or whatever, it doesn't inspire me as much. So those are my thoughts on Word of the Year. Like I said, I have a group that I talk with on the phone once a month, and we keep each other accountable to our words during our conversations and our catch-up. And so that's really been helpful to me, to have some accountability, but also just to be intentional each month about how I am working on my Word of the Year. So it may be for you, it may not be for you, but those are kind of some of my thoughts on why I do Word of the Year and what I want to get out of it as I'm doing it. Okay, so my pillow, I picked a peacock because, I mean, is there any more creative of a bird than a peacock? And then I just put a few other symbols around there. That I put a flower with a lot of leaves to show growth, and I put some quilt squares in there. All of my Word of the Year motif, well, not all of them. Some of them I just make up as I go along, but a lot of them come from this amazing Ultimate Sampler Motifs book by Brenda Keyes, the Sampler Company. And if you do not have this book, I'm just telling you, it is worth its weight in gold. I love this book. It is full. I'm just going to flip through so you can see. It is just full of all kinds of different motifs that she's collected from all kinds of different samplers, antique samplers. So it is so fun to play with. So most of my Word of the Year pillow motifs have come from this, with some adaptations and a little changes. But I love this book. And then the other thing I do for Word of the Year is I keep a project bag with the fabric that I use, which is 25 count Country Mocha, Lugana Country Mocha, which you know is one of my favorites. And I just cut the piece that I need for the year. So I keep the piece of fabric in there, and I also keep the ring of threads that I use for my Word of the Year pillows. Not that I want them necessarily to match, but I do like that they kind of go together. So I just keep my ring of threads and my piece of fabric so that the next year when I'm ready to stitch up my Word of the Year pillow, I don't have to run around trying to figure out what flosses I want to use, what fabric I want to use. You know, there are enough decisions in figuring out the design I want to use. So that's all kept in one project bag, and now I will tuck that away till next December or January, and it'll be ready for next year's Word of the Year. And then Michelle from Under the Woolen Willow, I hope that you guys follow her on Etsy. She has the most incredible things. I love everything she does. But she contacted me in December and she said, I know you do Word of the Year when you figure out your word, let me know, and I'd love to do a pillow for you. And she will do, you can order Word of the Year pillows on her Etsy site. And of course, I'll link her below. But I told her that near the end of December what it was, and I said, you know, don't spend time on this anytime soon. But look at this adorable little Word of the Year pillow she sent me. And it's got a little heart attached and a 2022 charm and a little button, and then the definition of the word create on there on the paper. So cute. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to use it in my display back here after I've done showing you guys, but I can't wait to put it in there. And she just does beautiful work. I just signed up for her Stitcher's Skinny Pillow Club, which I assume is going to be something similar to this, like these small pillows with stitching words on it. I think the signups are still good. So, of course, when I link below, go check out her Etsy site. And then she has kits to make some of her more popular pillows because, honestly, her things go so fast. I have so many times seen her posts on Instagram of things she's going to have in her shop, and I click over and they're gone. So you really have to pay attention to her stuff. But it's so nice that she has clubs. She has strawberry clubs, strawberry of the quarter, strawberry of the month. I can't remember how that works. But she has different things you can sign up for in case you can't jump on things and get her products when she puts them up. So cute. So I love that. I love having my Word of the Year in a few different places as a reminder to me each day of things that I really want to work on in 2022. So that was my next project that I worked on, actually my first finish. And then I did a little freebie for you. Since I couldn't send you all Valentines, I designed a little Be My Valentine chart. So this is my Be My Valentine pillow chart that I did for you. It's just done in DMC. I trimmed it in our cherry chenille trim. I put little polka dots on the back. And it's a super quick stitch, like a one evening stitch, but I thought it would be fun to tuck in your dough bowl or your little shelves or however you display your seasonal littles, that would be fun. So that is available on our website, coloradocrossstitcher.com, and it is under the patterns section, and then there's a little link to free patterns, and that's there for you. And I always, again, glue my trim on because I don't like finishing. I came home early from work yesterday to do finishing on 3 of these things. My Word of the Year pillow, this, and another one I'm going to show you. I just don't like doing finishing. So to then sit down and have to hand stitch trim on that night, I just want to sit down and cross stitch. So again, I use Aleene's tacky glue, and I used to use hot glue, but I could always see the hot glue because it's kind of shiny under there. But Aleene's tacky glue, you can't see any of that in this pillow. So it's perfect for finishes like this. And then all I do is I put the tacky glue on there, and then I just set this on the counter and leave it alone overnight so that that tacky glue dries completely, and then you're good to go. So that's my next little small that I did. And then the last one I did was I finished Whittaker, which I had started last time, and this is the one that I was working on last time where I showed you how to use little bits of leftover threads. You know, most of the time when I'm starting a new project, I buy a new skein of floss because I don't want to run out in the middle and have a difference in the color. But I think it was apple cider that this is. I ended up, I had 4 half skeins of apple cider, and I don't want to add a 5th to that, especially for a small like this. So I showed last time, and you can refer to that. That was video number 21, how to alternate your rows so that you can mix different skeins together, and it works great. And I finished Little Whittaker. And when I finished these, so I've done 2 of her owls. Now, what was his name? Can't remember his name, the little owl. And this one. And then there's a little female snowman that I want to do too. Snow lady, not snowman. And so when I finish this, I use my presser foot as a guide, and I just follow. So I follow around my stitching, and that's how I make it a little indented and, you know, have a little shape to it. So sometimes it works better than others, and he's got a little lopsided head, but that's okay. He's cute, isn't he? And on the pattern, on the back, there is, she shows putting a felt wool pocket on the back, and you can keep your scissors in there, but I'm just going to keep him in my display of snowmen, so he does not need to be a scissor holder. And then I just cut a little piece of wool for his scarf and fringed it up a little bit, and there you have it. It was fun to finish. I've had that pattern for a long time wanting to do it, so I'm glad to finally have that worked on and done. Okay, and then the last thing I did was I designed a badge for Winter Cross Stitch Camp. Now I'm going to talk about Winter Cross Stitch Camp at the end of the video, but I'm going to show you the badge for it now. And Chris, my friend Chris, who I've never met, but you know, we're friends, made this really fun camp bag for me at the beginning of summer camp last year. We did cross stitch camp last year, and I decided then to make badges for all of the camps. So the latest Winter Cross Stitch Camp there is on the bottom, and I took the design that we're using as the graphic and just kind of used that as inspiration to make the new little patch. Chris just sent me this adorable tassel, which I love, and a beautiful little red pillow that's back there in my cabinet. So anyway, isn't that fun to have little patches on your designated camp project bag? You should all have a designated camp project bag. And then I didn't want to get into, of course, then again, finishing. I don't want to stitch my patches onto my bag. I don't want to take the time, and then I was just envisioning when I get way down here at the bottom how hard that's going to be to stitch. So I used Steam-A-Seam, which is really narrow tape. Let's see if I can open it. And you iron the tape onto the back. It's really narrow. I think you can get it larger too. You iron it onto the back of your patch. So I did it all four corners, and then I did through the middle. Iron it onto that, and then you peel the backing paper off, put it onto your piece that you want to iron it onto, and then iron it again, and it's just like glue. It sticks great. Now I did the nun stitch around the edges so they wouldn't fray, because again, finishing, I don't want to make hems and do all of that nonsense. So this was just the fastest, easiest way for me to do it, and they're stuck. I mean, they're really stuck on there. I couldn't peel them off if I wanted to. So it's a good way to attach little badges or little things like that to your fabric bags. Now, if you have a bag like this that has a vinyl on the front, you could just attach your badges on the back like that. And again, all of the badges I make are really simple and quick to stitch, so they're going to take you maybe one night at the most. I always try and do those littles in DMC so that you can download the pattern and be stitching right away and get it done. So that is another freebie that is on our free patterns page if you're doing winter camp with us and you want a little cute little ornament for that. So those were my finishes this month, and like I said, I spent most of my time working on a new design piece that I can't share yet, but I'm looking forward to sharing with you as soon as I can do that. All right, next. Well, plans for next time. I'm going to do, this is the piece that I picked to do for camp. And again, I'll talk about that challenge in a little bit, but I'm going to do that little red sampler in it from Bristol Berries 1, Erica Michaels, and I've been wanting to do that. And I have a hank of number 502 NPI, which, by the way, this is how much thread you get in a hank of NPI. Now, I was pricing this out for somebody the other day. This is a little NPI hank commercial because I love the NPI hanks. You have 49.5 yards in a hank. You have 5 yards, let's put away, you have 5 yards in a skein of Gentle Art or Classic Colorworks or Weeks Dye Works. So you have almost 10 times the size in a hank. The MPI regular small silks come 5 yards or 5 meters, so that's 5.5 yards. Yards are 10% more than meters. I had to learn that for the yarn shop. So it's really a good deal, because if you bought 10 skeins of one of the hand dyeds, Gentle Art or Classic Colorworks or Weeks, if you bought 10 of those skeins, you'd have 50 yards. If you bought one hank, you'd have just about 50 yards. And 10 skeins would cost you $25. One hank costs you $32. So for $7 more, you can stitch with silk. And this has 8 strands instead of the 6 strands, so you're getting even more. So it's a great deal, and I'm saying that because I'm always happy. We carry hanks, but I'm always happy to order hanks in any color that you want. So if you look through all 465 colors of MPI silks and you think, well, that teal's really pretty, I'm happy to order that for you, and they ship really fast. And I say teal because somebody did have me order a teal and I fell in love with that color. So I'm going to be getting some more hanks. But this is my project for camp. So I will be doing this in February. And really looking forward to working on that. Okay, so that's one of my plans. All right. I promise you, I am going to work on his eyes on the sparrow. I believe that I have not had any progress on that in the last 3 videos. And I believe that I've said that every single time that I'm going to work on it next month. And once again, I did not. So I'm promising, pinky promise, that I am going to work on his eyes on the sparrow. There's no reason not to get back to it. I can't wait to have it on my wall. I love working on it. I am going to do that. Come on, I can do that. All right, I want to finish the design piece that I'm working on and the little small that goes with that. I have another design piece that I want to start stitching, and I need to decide on a different February birthday start. February is my birthday month, and I had planned to do Jane Bannister, which has a really big floral border. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like I should start or finish my LR 1844, this one, this border, before I start another project that has a huge flower border. I just have to put a little bit of time in between the two. So I'm going to show you a beautiful Jane so you can see what I'm talking about. And I love this. See that really pretty floral border? And I'm anxious to do it, and I love the cats on there. By the way, it was a really hard week for us. We had to put our 15-year-old Gracie girl to sleep this week, and it was so time, and she'd stopped eating. Anyway, I posted her picture on my Instagram account, and I can't tell you how meaningful it was to me. All of you who liked her post, and especially all of you who commented on that. It was just, I got teary every time I read comments, and I'm not going to talk about it very much today because I'll get teary too, but it's been a hard week, and so I'm really looking forward to doing this particular pattern because I love the big cats on there. And see, maybe I just now talked myself back into starting that in February, because I could start in the middle. I don't have to start doing that big border, and by the time I'm done with the other border, maybe I'll be ready for this border. Yeah, I may have talked myself back into it. Thank you for being a part of that conversation. I also brought a couple more possible starts for my birthday month, but you know what? I think I'm going to do Jane Bannister, so just never mind. Although one thing that I really do want to start is C.C. Smith, and that is by the Scarlet House, and I have all of the threads here, and I have a note to myself about replacing something, but you know, that's a pretty small sampler, and I think it would be pretty quick to do, so I might also start that in February, but not necessarily for my birthday month. Okay, Now I want to tell you about 3 things, and one of the things is my book of days that I want to show you. First of all, this is the last time I'm going to promote this company, but because I'm not looking them up. Every time I talk about them in my Flosstube, I have to look up a link to leave for you guys, and then I buy more stuff from them. It's really not a good situation. So, but I did buy more, so I want to show you, and I'm not looking it up this time. I'm cutting and pasting the link so I don't have to be tempted. But McCain's Furniture on Etsy, look at this beautiful, beautiful red heart bowl I got. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this bowl. And I am so looking forward to doing a Valentine display in here. And then, of course, you've already seen this bowl, but this is another long bowl that I got for them that I had all of my Erica Michaels Christmas Carol pillows in 2 videos ago. And then the other one I bought from them is this blue bowl. I don't know if it's showing up as blue, but it is a brilliant blue. And I thought this would be really fun for patriotic displays. So that's it. I'm not buying any more from them. But they ship fast, and they have beautiful things, and they have very reasonable prices. So if you're looking for a dough bowl of some sort, give them a look. I will link to them below. So that's number 1 of my 3 things for you this time. Number 2 is one of my other favorite things, and that is Polaroid Zip. There's another word now that I guess another company, Zinc Polaroid Zip, maybe. I'm going to link to this below, the one that I use. It is a little Polaroid photo printer, and it uses these little packs of prints that you can get 50 in a pack. Again, I'll link to these things so you don't have to look for them. And they print little photos this size. And you do it from your phone. You pick the photo in your photos from your phone, and there's an app for this, and you can recenter it, you can edit it, you can enlighten it, you can darken it, and then you just tap your phone and it prints to this. So I'll show you what I'm doing with those in my number 3 things. Tuck this back in. And that is, I'm printing photos for, well, first let me talk about Book of Days. So I know a lot of you have Book of Days. I've sold out of them twice in the shop. I have another message into Vicki to see if I can get more, but I haven't heard back from her. So we may or may not get more. If you're interested and you don't have one yet, you can go to our website, type Book of Days in the search bar, and then sign up to get an email when they go back in stock. So I did do a few different things with my Book of Days just to make it more functional for me. I had it spiral bound, so you can take this to Staples or Office Max or Office Depot and ask them to spiral bound. I don't know, it's like $2 or $3. And then I always have them put a clear cover on and a clear back on, just to kind of protect the cover and the back of this, and it makes it a little more sturdy. Then I bought this sticker book, which I've talked to you about before. And I saw this on Brenda and the Serial Starter. Brenda and Laura have these. And so I ordered one. Now, it was $25, and that's a lot of money for stickers. I totally understand putting it in this format. It's an expensive process, but they're 50% off right now. And they're $12.50, I think, or $12 maybe even. So I will link to those below. Now, be aware that this has some very strange stickers in it. I don't know if you can, I'm just going to flip. Okay, there's just some really weird stickers in here. Not offensive stickers, but just stickers that I probably wouldn't use. Let me see if I can find a sample of one. You know, of course I come across them all the time in here as I'm going through. I don't know. I'm not finding any, of course, right now, but you know, there's just weird stuff. Like there's skeletons and, you know, like this guy levitating the lady. And some of you will love that, but That's just not really me. And you know, like, what's going on with that horse or whatever that is? So it's antiquarian sticker book. So some antique graphics and designs that are a little different. The thing I do like about it is has all different letters of the alphabet. So for example, there's the page of K's, and it has numbers, so you can do dates. And so I've made good use of that. And one thing I really like is, so I was a scrapbooker I had a scrapbooking business for 14 years before I did the Loopy U. And I was very organized in my scrapbooking. My stickers, you know, I would do borders or decorations. They matched. They were, you know, spaced evenly. They were just, I took a lot of care in our scrapbooks. And I am having so much fun not taking any care of my stickering in this particular book. Like I don't care if I have mixed non-matched stickers on the different pages. I'm finding places they would go. One thing I did when I first got the book is I went through and I looked at all the stickers to see if some of these would be used for certain months, and I slapped them on those pages. But you know, I'm not trying to coordinate. I'm not trying to do a theme necessarily. So all that to say, you know, this is my first page when you open it, and I put some of my favorite stickers on this page because, you know, I just wanted to keep them front and center. And then I did my initials down in the corner with those beautiful letters. And then here is my month of January so far. Again, just putting all kinds of stickers on there. It's our anniversary month, so I love the dancing rabbits. And so anyways, and then I keep track of new starts I have over here, and then I keep track of what I've worked on. This Create Every Day, this sticker comes from Teresa Kogut, Creative Whims. So if you want one of those, which is perfect since that was my word of the year, so I wanted to put that on the start of that. And so I'm just having a lot of fun filling in. And then I was watching Carolyn, Stash Sisters, and she was using washi tape on hers. And I thought, well, I have washi tape from when I wanted to be a bullet journaler, and that never worked because I can't keep up with stuff like that. That is, you know, I have to be particular about. I don't have to be particular about this, and I'm just having fun with it. All right, and so I've added some stickers already to some of the other months, just different ones that I like. Looking forward to filling them in. I cover up some of the quotes, not because they're all good quotes, but sometimes I just want to use those stickers instead. And so, but I wanted to show you how I'm using the end pages and what I did back there too. So first of all, I put there's a lot of fun October stickers in that book, by the way. I wanted to put my word of the year in here, so I spelled it out with the 2022. That's on one of the back pages. But then, okay, and then I'll show you what I used the very back page for some of my plans. Samplers I want to do, pictures, pieces that I want to do for my seasonal wall, because, you know, I've talked about that before. I want to have a sampler wall. Now I want to have a one color wall, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. And then I also want to have a seasonal wall with just shelves. I don't know if you've seen Susie Reno's Flosstubes, but her last few Flosstubes, she's got a wall in a new house they moved into maybe a year ago, where it's just like floating shelves, different heights, different, you know, configurations. And I thought that's perfect for a seasonal wall, because you don't want to hang the pictures on a wall because you're changing them out every season, but you could balance them all on these shelves and it would look great. So check out Susie Reno's Flosstube if you want to see those. So I'm keeping track of samplers I want to stitch for my sampler wall, seasonals I want to stitch for my seasonal wall, but I have way more things that I want to keep track of in this book than there's room for. And so what I did, and this is because you can do this if you spiral bind it, is I went and had 3 more pieces of cardstock put into my book at the end. And if I run out of room on the 3 pieces, It's easy to untwist your spiral binding, have them cut 2 more pieces and retwist it in, because I didn't think to do this when I first got it spiral bound, and I went and had it done again and just did it myself. I just asked them to punch 3 pieces of cardstock for me, and then I untwisted the spiral and added them in. So I have another page for planning, because there's a lot of patterns that I want to do that are not for my seasonal wall necessarily, or not for my sampler wall, but I want to do those. So I added a plan page, and then I added a page for smalls, and it only says small, not smalls, because I couldn't fit anymore, but I have a page for smalls that I want to work on this year. And then here's where the photos come in. I have a page for finishing, and that's where I'm taking pictures of my finishes for the year each time I finish them, and printing them out on that little zip printer, Polaroid Zip printer, and attaching them on there. Now, you could easily add these to your month. You could easily find room on the month, the double spread of months to do that, especially if you don't want to do the spiral binding and you don't want to add, pages. It's kind of fun to keep them on the month too, but I just didn't want to, sometimes when you keep them on the month, then you're going to be covering up some of those squares, and I want to challenge myself to be creative every day and to write what I was creative with on that square. So I really didn't want to take a lot of space up to do that. But you could easily add them to the top here or some of the bottoms. Some of the pages have, more room than others to add things on. But I love the idea. And this makes it almost like a yearbook to me, because then this is my plans for 2022, my goals, my accomplishments when I put in the pictures of the things that I've done. So that's number 3 thing that I want to tell you about, is just how to maximize or customize your book of days. And again, you don't have to use this book of days. You can use any calendar. There's a lot of calendars out there. There's book calendars. There's, make it work for you. What I didn't want was something to feel like, I didn't want it to be something I felt guilty if I didn't fill in. I didn't want it to be something that I had to spend a lot of time planning beautiful displays and beautiful layouts, because that's time I'd rather spend stitching. So this works great for me. Like I said, I can just plop the stickers in. I don't have to worry if I write something and I screw up. I can just cover it with a sticker. I don't have to pre-plan. It takes me, a minute a night at the most to add in what I've done, and a lot of times I'll wait 2 or 3 days and then just go back and fill in what I did. And so anyways, there you have it. These cute little paper clips come from Michelle at Under the Woolen Willow when you get an order from her. Aren't those adorable? So that's the book of days, and I hope that you can do one if it's important to you to keep track of what you're doing. And I think it's fun to do that. And this is how I'm going to be better at being able to tell you the fabrics I'm using, because I'm writing them all down in there, and I'm going to be a little more organized with that. So okay, haul. What did I do with my, haul. So I have 2 hauls this time. First is Turkey Hollow Farm by Stacy Nash, which I have wanted for a long time. I don't know, I just love that yellow barn, and I don't have a lot of Thanksgiving decorations. I have fall decorations, and a lot of times I do fall instead of Halloween, because then it can carry me through. But I've just loved this piece, and we had these in the shop a couple months ago, and I didn't take one because I thought, well, I'm not going to get to it, so I might as well let you guys all have at it. But I've got a new stash in, and now I just pulled one for me, so I'm really looking forward to making that. And there is the guy is holding a gun on here, and I saw somebody turn that into a rake, which I thought was a good idea, because I don't really want to think about shooting turkeys, so I'm going to change that to a rake. Okay, and then I got my first and probably only Heaven and Earth design, which I will probably never do, because I'm telling you what, I looked at the pattern. I think it's okay to show you this. because you don't even know what it is. But I mean, who does those? I know a lot of you do those, but look at all those stitches, and it's just like confetti, and I can't do the parking thing, but I loved this design. So I thought, well, I'm gonna get it. Remember, I don't know, was it 2 times ago I talked about how to organize your stash and how to organize your patterns and the different categories you could put your patterns into? This is going in my inspiration category because I love that picture. I love wintertime. I love snow. That just looks like a really fun, cozy picture. And so now I have it in my inspiration file. I just don't think I can do that. Oh my gosh. I so admire those of you who do Heaven and Earth Designs because, and I know there's a program you can get on your tablet and highlight the stitches, and it's still a lot of stitching and a lot of little stitches all mixed in together. I think before I do this, I got to go back to my Renato Carolyn Christmas piece that I showed you in my very first Flosstube that I have not worked on since. I need to go back to that. Maybe if I get that done, then maybe I can think about that. So that's my haul, 2 patterns this time. All right, last time the question of the day is what was your favorite piece that you stitched in 2021? And I really enjoyed reading all of your favorite pieces. Some of you didn't finish any, totally fine, but it was fun to read some of the different ones that you all have done and worked on last year. All right, so the question of the day for this time, and I may have asked this before, like very early on, but as I experiment more with fabrics and I'm really trying to grow my own personal fabric stash more and more, is what is your favorite count of fabric to stitch on? I'm just curious. And it doesn't matter if it's Aida or linen or whatever you like to stitch on, but what is your favorite count to stitch on? And why do you like that count? I mostly stitch on 40 count and 25 count. And the main reason I like those 2 counts is I can use 1 thread and I like the coverage of 1 thread on those counts. I like more saturated colors and pieces when I stitch, so I can use 1 thread on 36, but I like the coverage and the saturation better on 40 count. My eyes would prefer to stitch on 36 count, but I like the result better on 40 count. And you know, I use Brightech, a floor lamp. Again, that was Carolyn, Stash Sisters. Early on, I watched her Flosstube and she talked about that lamp, and I immediately went to Amazon to buy it. I link to it in every single one of my Flosstubes because people ask me a lot what lamp I use. So it's a floor lamp, and I just bring it down right in front of me, and the lens is about this big, so it's perfect for looking through. And so then I can stitch on 40 count and 56 count. I went up to 56 count a few Flosstubes ago, and that was easy with this floor lamp too. With just my reading glasses, I can't stitch on anything bigger than 16 count Aida. So it just allows me options. So my favorite is 25 count 1/1 and 40 count 1/2. And also, that's just a size thing. Like the smaller my pieces can be, the better it is in our house, because we don't have a lot of wall space in the house because it's kind of an open house. So favorite count of fabric to stitch on. All right, I had a drawing for this adorable Sock Funky project bag and little accessory bag and matching flosses. This is from Deborah at Joyful Stitching Store. That's all one word at Etsy, and I'm so grateful that she donates these beautiful bags, her wonderful work, to support my Flosstube and to provide drawings for you guys. That was something she offered to do, and she's just incredible. And her work is meticulous. I have more of her project bags than anybody's because I just keep buying them. So the person who, you had to use the word monkey in your comment, and the person who won is Maureen Lopez. So Maureen, get a hold of me. My email's in the Dropbox below, and I will get this shipped off to you. Okay, So the next drawing I have, oh, I should have opened these up, sorry. The drawing for this time, this package arrived to me in the mail last month, just out of the blue. And inside was a note from Wanda, whose store is Pinky Promises Store on Etsy. Again, all one word, and I will link to her shop as well as Deborah's below. So she just sent me these out of the blue and said, feel free to use these on your Flosstube as giveaways. So I have two, but I'm saving one for a winter cross-stitch camp giveaway. So these are the two that she sent. And again, beautiful work, very heavy duty, but look at the extra she puts on the back with her embroidery machine. So she matches the front with something embroidered on the back. So I'm going to do the sunflower giveaway for my Flosstube, and I'm going to do the peacock giveaway for cross stitch camp, because as we talked about, our peacock's not the most creative bird in the world, and I think that would be fun for cross stitch camp. So Wanda, thank you so much for donating these for a giveaway. So if you would like to be entered into this giveaway for the sunflower, use the word sunflower in your comments. And I know you will love this. PinkyPromisesStore.com. No, Pinky Promises Store on Etsy. I will link to it so you don't have to remember that. Okay, on to cross stitch camp and a little bit of shop news. So thank you so much for your orders on our shop. I love filling your orders. I love seeing what you're getting. Bonnie and I have a lot of fun wrapping them up and shipping them off to you. We continue to ship to you same day or next day. If they're in before noon Mountain Time, we can usually get them shipped the same day for you. If they're afternoon, then we ship the next day. So thank you for ordering from us. We continue to add things every single week, and so we're growing all the time, and we just really appreciate your support. Let's talk about winter cross stitch camp. So last summer, I started cross stitch camp for stitchers because we had done knitting camp for the knitters at the Loopy U for years. I think we've done it for 12 years. 11 or 12 years. And I thought, we should do that for the cross stitchers too. So we had a lot of fun, and at the end of the summer, everybody said, well, are you going to continue with the challenges in the fall? And I thought, I don't want to dilute the experience of summer camp. Let's just keep camp for summertime, but we'll do a 1-month winter camp in February, because by February, we're all tired of the snow. We're all ready to move into spring, and I thought that would be a fun diversion. So Winter Cross Stitch Camp is coming up starting February 1st. It's a virtual camp. We had people from all over the world doing cross stitch camp last summer, and I know we already have people doing winter camp from all over the world, which is going to be really fun. There's no fee to join. It's free. You don't have to purchase anything. You can use Stash. But there is a challenge, and there are a couple of rules just if you want to be eligible for the drawings, because I've already had people contact me and offer to donate prizes for winter camp. I'm thinking we'll do fewer prizes for winter camp. We did so many prizes for summer camp, and I just don't want to depend on so many people to donate things for us. So if I get more than we can use for winter camp, I will save it for summer camp. So here's the challenge. Do a one color project. So one color. Now I've had people ask if it can be variegated thread, and that's totally fine because that's still one color name or one number of thread. So one color can be any color you want. It can be any size project. Some of the people last year, and we did that for summer camp too, some of the people said all I can commit to is finishing a small, and that's totally good. Other people said I want to do a really big project and I want to be challenged to get it done in a month. That's good too. Whatever you want to do is totally fine. So pick a one color thread and one project to do. Now, the little rule part of it is you have to don't start until February 1st, And if you want to be entered into the drawings for finishers, you have to be finished by February 28th. So you have from February 1st to February 28th. Now, how am I going to know if you did that? Well, I use Instagram as our social media of record. That's because I can search by hashtags, and I can keep it as simple as I can keep it for me, having to look all of those things up. You know, if you post it on Facebook, those posts sometimes get buried, or I don't get announcements, and I can't be getting a lot of messages from everybody just having you send. So the easiest way for me to do it is Instagram. I know not all of you do Instagram, so if you want to participate this way in camp, you're going to have to open up an Instagram account. It could just be solely for your cross stitching. You know, you don't have to share any other details of your life on Instagram, but if you want to be entered into the drawings, then be sure to do that on Instagram. So on February 1st, or anytime after February 1st, but not before February 1st, post a picture of your supplies. So the pattern cover that you want to do, the fabric that you're using, and the thread that you're using. And then do hashtag, I'm going to put the hashtag down below. Hashtag Colorado Cross Stitcher, hashtag Winter Cross Stitch Camp. Now, I had people last summer say, how do you do a hashtag? All you do is type it in. So that number sign, we used to call it the number sign on the typewriter, number sign, Winter Cross Stitch Camp, all one word, no spaces, and then hashtag or number sign Colorado Cross Stitchers, so that I am alerted that you have posted that too. Between both of those, I should see all of them. And if I like your picture, so if I have clicked like on your picture, you know I've seen it and you're entered and I've got you on the list and all of that. If your account is private, I won't see it, even if you hashtag me. So you can send me a private message on Instagram and just say, I'm doing winter camp, my account is private, could you please follow me? And then I'll go to your account and I'll request to follow, because you have to approve those when your account is private. And then if you let me in, I can see your hashtags. And you are very welcome to delete me afterwards if you want to keep your account private the rest of the time. I will not be offended at all, but I just want to make sure you get counted in the drawings. Then, to be counted in the finisher drawings, you need to post a picture on or before the last day in February of your finished project. Now, it doesn't have to be fully finished, just the stitching has to be finished. And again, use the two hashtags. I had a multiple page single spaced list of participants each month last summer. And so I keep a list and I update it every day. I look at those posts every day so I can keep track and keep on top of it. So I do a drawing for everybody who's participating. So if you post a picture on February 1st and then you go in the participants list. As you finish, then I go through and I make a check mark next to your name that you finished. And there are bigger drawings for the people who have finished. If you just want to participate and just stitch along, knowing you're stitching a one color project with a lot of people, and you don't want to have to worry about Instagram or hashtagging or being included or not in the official, feel free to just join us. This doesn't have to be a big deal. This is just for those of you who like a challenge, like the date challenge, want to be entered into the drawings. Okay, so there's no sign up. To sign up, you just post on February 1st your project. Now I wanted to share with you some patterns, one color patterns that I brought from the shop. Again, you don't have to order anything for this. You can use Stash. You don't have to order from us. But if you do order from us and you're doing camp, please leave us an order note, because I want to include a winter cross stitch camp needle minder in your order for you, just as a thank you. So I brought some patterns for you from the shop to share with you. And of course I forgot to put them on the dining room table to show you, so hang on just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the first one I brought to you is one that I did, I think, a couple of summers ago. And this is Icy Red by the Scarlet House. This was really a fun one to do, but just beware, there are 2 over 1 alphabets in this. I don't mind over 1, so it's not a big deal, but this one up here, and then this whole little line down here. Both of those are over 1. I finished it on a board from April at Homestead Needleworks. She is on Etsy, and I will link to her below. She has wonderful, wonderful finishing boards. I've bought so many of them. And she has one just for Icy Red. So that is one that you might pick to do. I have several from Modern Folk Embroidery, Jacob. So Tree of Life, which is gorgeous on the black, but wouldn't it also be pretty on dark blue? Or it would be beautiful on white or cream with color of your choice. I decided, I always thought I wanted a red sampler wall in my house, and then I decided after seeing all of those hanks of NPI silk, maybe I want a wall of single color projects, but all of them different colors. So I might have a couple of red samplers, and then I might have a navy sampler, and maybe an evergreen sampler, and a, you know, I don't know, teal. I really want to use that teal color. Here's another one, Kindness and Fortitude. So pretty. And again, you can jump in and do a start with us and not worry about having to be finished. If this is bigger than, you know, you can finish in a month, then just jump in and start with us and still do camp that way. Oh, what is this one? Home Sweet Home. And I want you to picture these. I've kind of thought, tell me what you think, because on the website I have a section for red samplers. I have a section for samplers. You can search patterns by sampler, but you can also search patterns by red sampler. But I'm so tempted to put all of these other one color samplers into that section too, because you could easily do that in red. I don't know, what do you think? Would that be too confusing if I say red samplers and then you pop up and there's a blue one in the middle? We just added Lila's studio to the shop, so I brought a couple of hers, Anna Omen 1873, and that is a fabulous bird in the middle there, isn't it? I also think that would be really pretty in blue. And Lily White 1884, which is a little bit smaller. We have several from Reflets de Soie. And I've got another order coming from her any day. Therese Delaney, which is one I want to do. I just think those letters are beautiful. And Marie Milan, 1893. I just made that up. I have no idea how you pronounce that last name. Milan? That's another one I think the alphabet would be fun to do. Josephine Sedin. This one is fun because it has small alphabets but really pretty Quaker type motifs, and this is Passion. Also beautiful. I pulled this Marie Jernette 1863 from Pineberry Lane. This is on my list. There is a little bit of a second color in there, but you wouldn't have to do it in a second color. That was a cute little one. And then there's smalls, like here's a Merry Christmas pin keep from Stacy Nash, which is all one color. Or her Runs with Scissors, also one color. Little scissor pouch. Here's another small one, Let It Snow, by Threadwork Primitives. And then from Needlework Press, we have 6 red alphabets and 7 red alphabets. Now those would be fun to pick a little one to do in red or color of your choice. Oh, this one I think is gorgeous. And part of the reason I love it so much is the color, but Clara Hansen by Hello from Liz Matthews. Isn't that so pretty? I think Jean from the Attic was working on this one time. She either showed it on her Instagram or on one of her videos. It's so beautiful. And she also has Gather Here, Liz Matthews, which is a single color piece in black, which would be a really neat piece to have in your dining room or your kitchen or your family room, wherever people love to gather in your house. I brought a couple from Rosewood Manor, Green on Green, which is on my list, and My Token of Love. And then one more, and if anybody were able to finish this in a month, I Want to Be Your Friend. This is like the biggest piece. Let me see if I can tell you how many stitches it is. It is a big piece. 698 by 461. L'Amaqua de Marie Andre. I mean, can you imagine? I can't imagine doing that in a year or two. But I would love to have that on my wall. You know what would be really cool is, would this be cool or would it be gaudy? To do each row a different color. Or maybe 3 colors. Maybe do red, dark green, dark blue. That would probably look tacky. I don't know, that's a lot of red. I don't know if I could, I love red, but could I do that much red? I don't know. But that is just an incredible piece. That is another one of those that would just go in my inspiration file because that is inspiring. And it's kind of cool to have all those different alphabets too. I mean, just as a reference book for alphabets. So that is gives you some ideas for Winter Stitch Camp. I hope that you will join us. We have a group on Facebook that's the discussion group, not the posting with the hashtags group, but the discussion group, and it's called Cross Stitch Camp, 3 separate words with an exclamation. I will link to that below. Please feel free to join us there, because everybody over there is talking about and sharing ideas about what they're going to do. And then also please join Colorado Cross Stitcher on Facebook, which is our shop group, which we're just starting to build, and we look forward to doing some fun things in that group as well. Be sure to subscribe to my video if you're interested in hearing when I have a new one. I love talking to you guys, and my favorite thing the day or 2 or 3 after I post is talking with you guys in the comments. So thank you for commenting, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.